No, it's not on. Having to check if I am actually live. Testing, testing. Is it working? Okay. Not sure why this is not coming up as the one that I need it to be. So this software that I am using, I do not like it. Why is it not doing what I need it to do? It's literally marked for this is supposed to be the Tyra one, and it's still not doing right. Okay. What's the point of going through all of this stuff? See, okay, I'm gonna be transparent here. I'm using Riverside, and right now I'm gonna say I do not like the live feature in scheduling and stuff because yeah, this free trial thing, I'm gonna use it up the way I can right now. I don't like it. What's the point of me scheduling something and putting all the information in here if it's just gonna do whatever the freaking wants to on the back end and just not transfer everything over? Did that make sense? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Because now I have to transfer everything over instead of this just populating like it should have with all of the information that I provided. Because now it just looks like I'm doing some random stream. I'm a bit disturbed right now. I'm going to write a very angry letter, okay? Because I am a mixed woman in America and I am entitled and I need things to work when I need the way I need them to work and I need them to not be messing the fuck up. Okay. Anyways, you didn't come here to hear me rant. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, why did it do this? Okay, I'm trying to see if there's a issue here where it just maybe I need to just go back into this link before I, want to make sure it's not user error. And then I did this properly. Okay, just okay, sorry you're hearing the double clicking. Yeah, for whatever, yeah, I'm in it and it's just like not doing what it wants. So I'm definitely reporting this. But anyways, this is not gonna hold up anything. I'm gonna get into this. This is supposed to be the reading on the Tyra versus the American Next Top Model judges. This is coming out in regards to the documentary that they had on Netflix where they were saying that she just basically painting her out to be a very horrible person and that she was doing anything for the clout I won't even say anything for the clout, but she was doing what she felt was necessary in order to get America's Next Top Model approved as a show because there was a lot of, shenanigans going on behind the scenes and getting it approved. So yes, I wanted to make sure that I got this reading done. I am a little late, but when am I not? Okay. Yeah. I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to make sure that the stuff on this back end is all updated because this is going to drive me crazy that it's not in here right. So I wanted to do a reading on this to see kind of just like what's the fallout? Is there truth behind the allegations that they made? Or was they just kind of just, I don't even want to say like maligning Tyra because obviously she was in the documentary from what I understand. So I don't think they were necessarily lying, but I wonder if they was just driving, making it more dramatized. Dramatized? dramatized for the views, and because I also heard that she was announcing that America's Next Top Model is coming back. They're supposed to be launching a new season or a new cycle. So I kind of want to get into the the meat of the whole thing and see what's really going on here and see what the issue is. With all that being said, I am going to go through and just kind of look at the energies between her and the judges, and again see if there was some clout or some mishandling of all of this going on, and go from there. Can I delete this? I'm sure I can, but for now we're just going to do that. So with all of that being said, please understand, as I often try to tell you all, think of me as just a spiritual translator. I'm not saying I'm going to get everything right. I'm not going to say I'm going to get everything wrong, but I am going to provide you the messages, the meaning, and the understandings, those intuitive hits that I'm receiving, and I'm going to provide the message as clear and as best as I can. But like with most translations, sometimes things are mistranslated, sometimes there's no one-on-one translation for it, sometimes things are misinterpreted, but I try to provide the message as best that I can. Also, on top of that, in the midst of me trying to relay the messages that I am receiving, I do have to issue the most important legal disclaimer, and that all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only, because there may be something, again, that I misinterpret or misspeak on, or I don't mean it in that exact way, but I'm trying to provide it as best as I can. I'm not trying to, malign anybody's character or, doing this out of maliciousness. This is really, really, really just to practice my craft. And what I get is what I get. So if we're all in understanding about that, we shall proceed forward. Let me pull up the chat to make sure if there's anything. Okay, yeah, I can close out of this one now. What would be a good caption for this? I'm just getting ready to put this post out so people know that it is live, because I had to private the other video thanks to Riverside. Yes, I'm putting y'all on blast. I don't care. I'm putting y'all at fault. Okay, that is up and posted. Okay, now I can go back and concentrate on this here. Is that still a little weird? Ooh, let me not touch anything else. All right. So I will put the name of the cards down in the description box below if you all care to have those. I usually add them after I put the live up, but today I'm using something lightweight and kiddish because I feel like this is almost some childish behavior. Maybe not so much on the judge's part if we're taking their word for it. Maybe it's more so Tyra's portion here, but I do want to dive into this and see what was going on here. So again, all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. We are going to get into this, and we're going to look at we're going to look and see what is coming up here for Tyra. So the first one that I want to look into is that Manuel is maybe I should save him for later because it seemed like theirs was really juicy. Let's look at, I think his name is Nigel. Let me know if I'm fucking up. I think it's Nigel. I know it's Miss J. Yeah, Nigel Barker. So let's look at Tyra Banks and Nigel relationship and see what's coming up there. What was the crux, the fallout that they had? Okay, first one out the gate. We do have the World card here. Okay, so she just felt like that friendship ran its course with the World card here because it's in the upright. That's showing a completion of something. I feel like I need to dim this light so you all can see that a little bit better. Did that work? That's gonna make it too dark. Yeah, let's do that. That should be the ambiance. That'll work. I want to make sure it don't look too washed out for you all. Okay, so what is Nigel's? I have two cards here. Look at that. We have the Sun coming up in the reverse. And then we also have the Four of Wands coming up in reverse. There is no love lost here between these two. I tell you that. So this is like, I'm almost hearing like a thief of joy. It's almost kind of like the energy he seems or understanding that he has of Tyra right now. Just kind of like seeing her as a thief of joy. I also want to, because again, I haven't watched the documentary. I just been hearing a lot about it. And I do want to bring up with the Four of Wands, it does often deal with home. And so I wonder if, the cost of being her friend or going through America's Next Top Model with Tyra, if it took him away from home a lot because, and I'm going for the low hanging fruit here, just because in the sense of, they usually did like 2 cycles a year, and, they branched out, they went international. I wonder if him working on this project with her, if it caused like trouble in paradise when it came to home for him, or if there was things here where it just kind of like he felt like it robbed him of a lot of like other opportunities or something like that when it came to like maybe more of his personal life, because again with the Four of Wands and the Sun coming up here in reverse. But let's see if we can get some clarity here. Oh, I had a lot of cards I wanted to flip over right then. I keep getting a lot of cards I want to flip over. It's about 5 cards, and I just need no more than 2, Spirit, for the energy between these two. Okay, what is this one? Oh, Ten of Wands, Heavy Burden. She's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle. See how she's saying, up this friendship is done, complete. I used it. It went as far as it's gone. All of Nigel cards are coming up in reverse here with this the Sun and the Four of Wands, and then we also have the Ten of Wands here coming up in reverse as well. The Ten of Wands is usually like a burden you can no longer carry. It's releasing something that's been heavy, that's kind of been a load off of your shoulders, essentially. So to me, it just kind of feels like, yeah, this friendship did run its course. She kind of like sucked it dry. She sucked all of the air out of the room. She no longer allowed it to have like any kind of fire. I also wonder if America's Next Top Model or his time working with her, if it killed his passion for, because if I remember correctly, Nigel was a photographer. So I wonder if during his time with America's Next Top Model, if working with Tyra and working through all these cycles, if it just kind of like, if it was burnout, or if he no longer loves photography the same way that he once did, or modeling the way he once did, he doesn't see it the same. Like, again, she kind of stolen his joy, his passion, his drive for modeling. Okay, wait. Okay, that was one card that was flipped over. Let's see if I can get a bit more clarity here. I'll tell you one thing, one card that wants to come out is putting lipstick on a pig. This is talking about artifice, denial, cover up, trickery, superficiality, foolishness, look closer, and frivolity. So you can see that there. But I'm going to throw this back in the deck here, and I'm going to see if that's meant to stick. For the energies that's coming up here between Tyra and Nigel. Let's see. I'm going to get a bit more clarity here. Okay, so the three cards that fell out, we have Come to Jesus. This is truthful communication, surrender, reconciliation, divine intervention. Maybe there is something here with some intervention or reconvening of some sort, so reconciliation could happen. But to me, I feel like this is more so just like the both of them, or at least Nigel had a come to Jesus moment. Because usually when I see a come to Jesus moment, that's you kind of being real with yourself. You are realizing, hey, this person is not the nicest person. I probably think of them as more of a friend, and they probably just think of me as more of like an acquaintance. I think the world of this person, and to them, it doesn't matter if I was to, they wouldn't piss on me to put out the fire if I was on fire, kind of energy. It's kind of like you being very truthful to yourself. You're kind of having that awakening, that come to moment. And then we also have Honey Child. This is dealing with abundance, fertility, belief, growth, warmth, beginnings in your prime here. So again, I wonder if there's something here, because I'm assuming this is dealing with Nigel, just because we have the Honey Child card here. And this is dealing with kind of like with rebirth. Sometimes it's almost like my family card as well. And with the Four of Wands coming up in reverse, I don't know if Nigel has children. I don't know if he feels like he spent a lot of time away from his children, or away from his family, or starting a family. If he feels, again, robbed of that. That's why the Sun card is also coming up here. So that's pretty interesting. I do also want to note that they both do have major arcana, so these are some strong energies coming up here. In case I didn't mention that. And then I also have how far are we? And this is almost steady progress, stamina, travel, a road trip, enjoy the journey. This came out in reverse. So it was a bumpy ride. Maybe it was fun at first. Something along the way changed here, and it hasn't been the same. Some spark, some incident, some conversation, something happened between these two, where it was just kind of like, I feel like a switch flipped in Nigel, where he was like, oh, this really just, okay, got you, clear. And probably started erecting boundaries where he didn't before. And I hate to say that, because I wanted to believe it wasn't Tyra, but looking at these cards in this, at least in this relationship, yeah. I'm also going to look at the underlying cards here. We do have the Page of Coins. We do have the Six of Coins as well. And then we also have the Empress. So this is interesting. The Empress. So maybe business-wise, things were good. maybe he wanted to start off on another venture. I'm starting to think maybe there was a problem or issue here in starting off on another venture. Maybe he feel like she kept him stagnant. Cause see, yeah, that wands with the passion card. I feel like something is trying to come through, which he blames her for like keeping him stagnant or convincing him to not take a deal or to not be a part of something that he really wanted to be or something like that, or undercutting him or making some underhanded deal or something, cutting him out of something. I feel like something like that is coming up. The other underlying energies I'm getting here is a chicken with his head cut off. I'm also getting a little something I threw together. A little something I threw together is kind of dealing with confidence, your talent, and accomplishments. Chicken with your head cut off, if you don't know that saying, it's pretty much like you are all over the place and you're not focusing in on one thing or another. And then we also have the howler, and this something with communication is coming up for them for sure. Because look at this, both of these are dealing with communication, honesty. So I wonder if it's something here with like a text message, an email, a phone call, some news, an agreement, something like that, was the straw that broke the camel's back with these two. So, yikes. Okay, let's see. So let's look at Tyra and Miss J. Now, I did hear a lot about this one because a lot of people was appalled, aghast. Their flabbers were gasted when they found out that Miss J suffered a stroke, I believe, and Tyra did not check on him or her, on them, check and see what was going on, how they were recuperating, if they needed anything, nothing. So I am going to look into that next. Okay, so I'm getting the Page of Swords. I'm trying to see if anything else flipped over here. I just wanted to check. Page of Swords, Tyra? Really? What would have made this even worse if it was Queen of Swords? This is really like, I don't give a fuck. Get more clarity on this. I want one more card. I got two actually. I got the Eight of Cups and then the Justice card. Let me see. Can I get one more card to clarify Tyra's energy here for the Page of Swords? Ooh, the Sun. Okay, one thing loud and clear, I feel like this coming through for me. You ever had a friend, they're good, maybe for business, they're good for when you have a good time, they're good for, getting you out your shell to explore new things. But when it comes to those moments where you like, I really need somebody to lean on, I need somebody to talk to, hey, can I stay at your house or anything like that? It's like, well, such and such happened and so needed me to do this. It's kind of like they get uncomfortable with, I would say, maybe vulnerability or being open or sharing. Some people say it's probably narcissistic behavior. I'm not even an armchair psychologist, therapist, so I'm not even gonna get into that. I don't know. But it just kind of feels like to me she's somebody who don't deal well with like heavy stuff. And I don't know if Tyra is a Pisces, but something gives me that she can be very much aloof. Maybe Pisces, maybe an Aquarius. Who else can be kind of aloof like that? Sagittarius. Like you just kind of be off in space in your own mind and head doing whatever you want to do. So I don't know if that's something that's coming up for her. Maybe even a Libra. Just kind of like in denial of what's actually going on around you and your reality, and just kind of just conforming it and making it whatever you want it to be. She kind of just gives me like she dissociates from like anything that's tough or she feels like that's too heavy. She's like, no, I don't want to deal with that. If it's not about me and it's something heavy, and I feel like even with herself, she would punish herself if it's something like heavy she has to deal with. Like, you know, God forbid if she went through a health issue or something like that, she would make it seem like she's the victim and everybody's attacking her, the world is against her, blah 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 blah. Like that's the energy that's kind of coming through for me with Tyra right now. Don't like that, but that's what I'm getting. Hold on, I'm trying to get Miss J here. I'm trying to focus on Miss J. Oh, Moon, that's feelings. Okay, I did have a couple of other cards that flipped over that I want to note. That's probably going to give me some more insight. The Moon is going to stick though. So I do have the Page of Cups. Understandable. I thought you was my friend. You didn't come see me. This is something I am emotional about. The Magician. Again, sometimes the Magician can talk about communications and things like that, but it also can deal with you know, making do with what you have and moving forward. And it would make sense because we also have the Hangman. And this deck is called Change. This is looking at something with a new perspective. Notice the sun is on the, you know, on the horizon and he's kind of just like moving forward. Ace of Wands. Yeah. Miss J, they definitely were in their feelings. They probably were in their head about this, but then it feels like they probably quickly recouped from this and was just like, okay, but I have to go do what I have to do. I do also think I feel like a weight is kind of lifted off of their shoulders as well, that they finally are able to kind of like reveal what was going on here. I don't know if some people was looking at Miss J thinking maybe he was or they was the messy one. I'm saying that because I'm not sure of Miss J's pronouns, but I don't know if you know, or if it was something behind the scenes where maybe a lot of people was looking at them crazy or anything like that. But it also feels like there's like I'm kind of getting like a deep breath. It could also be because of the health situation. I could be conflating that feeling here. It could be, you know, now that I'm through that moment and, you know, I have a new lease on life and, you know, I'm going to go out here and do what I need to do. I can't let nobody stop me because I see, you know, I had to wrestle with my mortality. Yeah. Breath of fresh air. Energy between Tyra and Miss J. Spirit can't get no more than 2 cards. Insight on the energy between these two. Okay, so first things first, we do have, oh, that's interesting. The Lover's card is here in the middle. Alignment. Okay. Oh, see that World card coming up again. Alignment, completion. What else is? Oh, Judgment. Damn. So this almost, if I dare say, you know, I'm going to get very lofty here in my little whisper voice. This feels like a karmic relationship. You two met when you needed to meet, and the things happened that needed to happen. And the breakaway happened in the way that it needed to happen because otherwise, you know, maybe you two would have just had a hard time. I'm thinking that's probably the energy that's coming up here when I see the Judgment and the World and the Lover's card, and they're all in the upright. I'm gonna go with that feeling here. But you know, just coming out of that craziness. So the Judgment card here again, this is it feels very much again going to Nigel's reading. Okay, I see you for what it is. It's a come to Jesus moment. I am judging you for how you treated me, and you're judging me for how I reacted, or for, you know, my health, having the health issues that I had and not being able to power through that. Maybe you not understanding that. This is okay. I'm gonna be honest. This is kind of triggering me because this is bringing up something I feel about an ex friend of mine. But okay. maybe you don't understand what it's like to have a health issue. You don't know what it's like to be a caretaker or having to think about somebody outside yourself and all these other things. I see through you, and you see me. I see you. I'm glad we have a great understanding. Again, with the world card showing up here, this is talking about something being completed, a cycle being finished, and a new one starting, or starting one anew. So this kind of, to me, it feels like, okay, this is done. It is what it is. Oddly enough, with these two, I could see them working again. People will probably look at them crazy, but I could see them working again because they very much have a clear understanding of each other. They have boundaries with each other. They wouldn't trust each other as far as they could throw the one, throw the other. So they would probably work out, and I could see them being friends again. Nigel, I think, is still in this space where he's kind of still working through a lot of the hurt, or the maybe even a lack of closure, maybe that didn't come with the friendship, where I feel like with Miss J and Tyra is very much an understanding, like, we had our closure, whether I spoke to you or not. I closed that book, I closed that page, I turned, went on to something else and did what it did. I could see these two working again. And I wouldn't look at them crazy. I wouldn't. I know some people would. I wouldn't. Okay. Ooh. Okay, nope. I'm gonna clarify something else too. Now that I have this guy don't like ugly, something popped into me that makes me feel like, I wonder if Tyra had some kind of health scare before and he helped her through it and kept it a secret. And that's something, because the moon also deal with secrets too. So I don't know if there was a secret revealed, if he gave some, or if they gave some tea in regards to Tyra's health or something like that, or if they're still holding on to that. But something came through to me of just kind of like, I wonder, what do he know? I feel like it's something he knows about Tyra that, I don't know if he's just putting a pin in it, or if he's just gonna respect the friendship for what it, or out of respect for what the friendship was, that they're just gonna keep it to themselves. They're gonna go to the grave with it. But I do have God don't like ugly. This is dealing with nastiness, clash, strife, argument, spite, grudge, revenge. That's very much what's happening right now. We do also have swing on the front porch. This is talking about good times, cozy feelings, slow down, being in nature, thankfulness. Again, I feel like both of this could go to both of them. As odd as it may seem to some people, I think both of them could be like, glad that chapter of our life is closed, as we are moving forward. Glad I didn't have to help you through this health crisis because I couldn't deal with it. Because to be quite frank, if that is kind of like the if what I'm believing and what's coming through these cards and what has been laid out in the documentary is to be true, Tyra may not be a good person to lean on when it comes to things of like health crisis. When it comes to business, when it comes to trips, when it comes to fun times, yes, she's what my grandmother would call a fair weather friend. Yes, when all things are good, she's cool to hang out with. She's what's tea. If things go left, things go bad, she's the first person you want to watch out for. Guard yourself against, and or take your time away from, kind of like remove yourself, because she's not going to be of any assistance. Because if it's her having to provide you any help, it's not going to work. But she's definitely going to accept your help on something if it's to help her get further or through fruition. So it could be a good times and good feelings here, because you're just like, oh, okay, glad I didn't have to deal with that. Glad all things are good and it's fine and dandy. We can move forward. So yeah, all of that to say. And then I also have, too big for your britches. And this is dealing with arrogance, vanity, self-importance, being high and mighty, and modesty needed. I feel like there was a lot of the stuff that was coming out in the documentary. So I don't think I really need to clarify that card. I think that is pretty transparent. I think that's been made abundantly clear in the documentary. From what I gathered, a lot of people have stated about it. So yeah. Now looking at the underlying cards here, we do have whatever floats your boat. That's pretty much finding your passion project, what makes you happy, what makes you you, what recharges you. Do your thing. I also have if the good Lord's will it and the creek don't rise. This is pretty much determination, purpose, finding your way forward. If nothing, getting your way or blocks your blessings, you're going to make your way through. And then I got how's your mom and them, your people, reach out, strong roots, connection, presence, reunion, foundation. I wonder if these two still had to work with each other in the industry. And that's what's made it hard. Because how's your mom and them? That's interesting. I don't know if there maybe is some family connection or something there, or if she has a longer relationship with Miss J, where it's kind of like a different dynamic between those two. But something feels like there's still a link there. It's almost like when you fall out with your cousin. I don't know if anybody would get this reference. To me, the way I would explain it, it's like if I fell out with, one of my close cousins. Oftentimes, at least in my family, our cousins were like our first friends. They were our additional siblings. So I would go to war with them and still turn around and be like, well, get your ugly butt in the car. Let's go get something to eat, or just not deal with you now that we're adults. It's like, okay, I don't have to deal with you like that. We're not in close proximity. So it's almost like if you fell out with your cousin or something, but y'all still you still gonna see me at the family reunions. If something was to come up, I don't like your, but I'm gonna help you, like, because we family and that's how we was raised, kind of thing. That's sort of like the energy I'm getting here. I do have the Four of Swords as the other underlying energy here. That's like taking a beat, taking a rest. Again, to me, this feels like they needed to have some separation between each other because, I don't know, maybe it was a built up animosity, or it's just like, we need to take a break because clearly this isn't working. We do also have the Four of Coins. Interesting enough, this is coming up. That's like my penny pincher card. This is reserving your energy. So I think this is dealing with boundaries, this Four of Coins. I don't think it's so much finances. I think it's more so energy. Like I'm reserving my time. I'm, in the words of Maxine Waters, reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time. And then we also do have the Hierophant in the upright as well. So, yeah, somebody please let me know if these two are still like in business, at least at a minimum in business. I don't know if these two are related in any kind of way, but something makes me feel like they still are very much in business together and or are about to get back into business together. Or maybe they already have a business together and they're kind of just like, co-business partners. Now, let's look into J. Manuel and Tyra, because from the clips and stuff and the understanding that I've gathered from the internet, the interwebs, I don't think either one of them directly divulged the reason why these two fell out and what happened. So yeah, let's see what's going on here. Oh, I have a lot that I wanted to flip down. More importantly is this one, the Judgment card in reverse. He feels like she hasn't... Basically, she's been dodged repercussions. We also have the Hanged Man here as well. We have the Ace of Coins. Okay. The Three of Wands. Oh, moving on. Finances. Oh, victim of... I'm not necessarily a victim of my own circumstances, though. Okay, let's see. Tyra. Oh. Sugar honey iced tea. We're not counting these. Oh, it's 4 cards that fell? Best friend, the sun, or, the lover's card. Ooh, is these all major arcana? Most of them are. So we have the lover's card, the sun card, the world's in reverse. Oh, something not complete here. I feel like there's something still left on the table to be said. Okay. 10 of Wands and the Knight of Coins here. It's showing it up for Tyra's energy. Oh, sorry. I said this was the Hangman, the last one. This is actually death. This is dealing with change. And the Ace of Wands. It's just, why does it feel like, I feel like her and Ashley Tisdale would probably be good friends. Maybe not because they both suck the air out of the room. But from what I've gathered on both of them in tarot readings that I've done on these celebrities, I think her and Ashley will probably be a good, will probably be good friends because they're kind of like mirror personas of each other. I'm just kind of getting like suck the air out the room. You ever had somebody that maybe you love them dearly or you just have to put up with them, but they're kind of like an energy vampire. Like when you deal with them, they take up so much of your time. Maybe they do take up a lot of your money. Maybe they do take up a lot of your resources. It's just so heavy. They're so heavy to kind of like deal with. And it's not always like they're coming at you with like trauma. It could just be, they manipulate a lot of your time. They hold you on the phone. You say, "Oh, I got something to do in an hour," and they make sure to talk to you for 2.5 hours to make sure it's no more space or room for anything else to grow. That they are the main. I'm gonna say I'm right on this because my candle is flickering. But they make sure that they absorb up all of your time and space. They just kind of manipulate all of it. I feel like that's how J. Manuel sees Tyra. It's almost in that same vein or line of kind of like how Nigel feels about Tyra. And I feel like Nigel maybe was a bit more of a sweetheart about it, in a sense, or maybe naive or was explaining it away. Whereas where I think with Jay Manuel is probably like he's seen it right away, but he was, I don't know, maybe giving her more rope to hang herself or was trying to be patient or whatever the case may be. But to me, it just kind of seems like he's like, she manipulates. I'm going to say allegedly, at least from what I'm interpreting here, it kind of just feels like just you're manipulating my time. You're manipulating my time, my energy, my space. Just no. Oh, what is this that flipped over? Ooh, Knight of Coins. Slower moving knight. Okay, can I get some clarity on that one? They said sure, 4 of coins. Yeah, I feel like it's a doubling down of what I said earlier. And funny, when it comes to J. Manuel, Tyra's energies is coming up in reverse this time. If everybody else was coming up in the upright, but with J. Manuel's is coming up in reverse. I wonder if she feels some type of way about him because he cut her off first. You know how some people are like sour about that? I think she feels some type of way that he cut her off first. Or maybe she felt like this relationship didn't run its course yet. She didn't get a chance to use him up for everything, or she was still very much leaning on him, and now she feels hurt that you kind of like, you know how some people, the biggest transgression you can commit to them is by pulling back, not giving them that energy, not giving them that space, not giving them access to you anymore. When you revoke your access, yep, I'm gonna say yes again because my candle started flicking. I think the big issue here is that J. Manuel, revoked his access from her, and she is upset about that. Oh, look at that, the sun. We do also have the wheel in reverse here. And then we also have the 9 of Cups for the other underlying energy. Oh, look what else came up in reverse up under here. The Hierophant. I also have the 4 of Wands coming up in reverse here as well. Let's see if I get some more clarity. Ooh. Ooh, sweating like a sinner in church. Guilt, remorse, nerves, worry, confession, coming clean, apology, integrity needed. We got that too big for your britches here. And then what's this other one? Ooh, it's funny, some of the same cards are coming up. God don't like ugly and too big for your britches. Nastiness, clash, strife, resentment, argument, spite, grudge. Coming up in reverse here. Something just makes me feel like, oh, okay. I would say if I was a betting woman, I would be willing to bet $5 that the reason why the real reason why she is struggling with this, the closure of this, is because there was no real closure. It was simply one day she probably tried calling or texting Jay, and he was like curbing her, ghosted her, whatever the case may be. She never got that closure. He kind of just he just woke up one day and said, I'm taking it back. I'm reclaiming my time. I don't want to deal with you. Nope, we're not having this conversation, and went on and did what he wanted to do. And she is upset about that. Like, how dare you ice me out? I'm the one who leave people, not you leaving me. I'm interested in why this apology is needed card, this sweating like a sinner in church. Coming up again. If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. This is something new. Fixing too. This is now is the time. Action required. Readiness, follow through. And this is aren't you precious? Suffering fools, disdain, displeasure, content, poking fun, read between the lines. Well. I don't think I need to clarify that anymore. Lastly, let's see if I will get any details on whether or not America's Next Top Model, if it's coming back, if it's dead and done. If maybe the judges will just bring it back. Let's see what insight I can gather here, and then we shall move on. Oh, sugar. Again, the Hierophant wanted to come out, but okay, hold on. You know, something else I feel like that's coming through here, and just this is my speculation here. This is my tinfoil hat time. I wonder if they dropped this documentary because they caught wind that she was trying to bring back America's Next Top Model, and they were like, I'm just wondering. And maybe that's also why I'm probably getting that energy about Miss J. And like maybe there's still like some work or something there. Maybe they're still dabbling around in the same circle. I doubt a lot of them aren't dabbling around in the same circle. Maybe Miss J is a lot closer. But I wonder if that's the energy that I'm picking up on, where it's like, oh, I called Wim and I told everybody else and I'm blowing a whistle. Just a theory. There's no proof to that. That's just me, Majin's theory, okay? My opinion. Okay, funny. We got the moon and the strength card coming up here. Okay, what is this one that flipped over? Is that the star? Ooh, I don't think it's gonna get off the ground. I think this documentary probably have ruined the chances of that. And or they're gonna have somebody else leading it. The star card and the strength card, the moon makes me feel like it's left on the chopping block, but then the strength card makes me feel like there's not enough like right now is not the time. There's not a strong want or need for it right now. It's a sour taste. The brand, the brand is toxic right now. We'll table this at this time and we'll revisit and see if it comes back. Maybe we'll shop this around a little bit. And then with the star card, to me, especially when it's dealing with Hollywood, the star card, it feels like it's not going to be shown. It's not going to be presented. It's not going to be out there. It's not going to be, mainstream or and or again, Tyra isn't going to be like the face of it. Maybe they're going to try to revamp it again, shop it around or something like that. But that strength in this star card really makes me feel like the moon is kind of throwing me, because I would feel like it would come up in reverse if it was like an absolute no. But to me, it feels like put a pin in it. We'll revisit that at a later date. Let's table this conversation and we'll revisit this and see how people feel in a few months, because right now it's toxic. We can't do it. Oh, look, we do have the Page of Wands coming up here in reverse. I don't know who this King of Wands could be, but there is a King of Wands showing up here. This could be a fire sign male, Sagittarius, a Leo, or a Aries. It could also be Tyra. I don't know if she's like a Leo or something like that. I feel like she's giving more of like a Piscean to me, but or maybe a Sagittarius, because again, or again, this is talking about, hey, it's a lot. It's a great idea, but again, right now is not the time. And then we also have Ace of Coins. Look, I think to me, when I seen this Ace of Coins, nostalgia. I feel like it was going to work for people because of the nostalgia, but now the nostalgia is ruined because it's confirming a lot of the things that people who watched it the first time around is like, this show was definitely problematic, as I remember. That's so funny how this card flew as I was trying to shuffle. Well, that just deals my pickle. This is total contentment. It's a yes, assist, wishes granted, mastery, joyous resolutions. So that's interesting. Is it going to happen? But right now it's just kind of like on a back burner. Is somebody else going to spearhead it? Is it kind of going to be taken from underneath her? I don't know if she has any rights to it. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take these 3 cards because this is sticking out to the side. And as you can see, this one is sticking up. I'm going to put it just like so. Pot called the kettle black. This is dealing with hypocrisy, projection, similarity, blame, introspection needed. We also do have don't get your feathers ruffled. This is dealing with inner calm, well-being, patience, deep breathing, compassion, the idea. I find this funny that this is landing on top of the strength card. To me, it feels like I'm not feeling good right now. I'm a little tight. I feel heated. I don't like it. I do also think with this pot calling the kettle black was coming through to me. I feel like, okay, I'm channeling at this point. The pot calling the kettle black, I feel like that's coming through. I'm going to be inclined to feel like this is Tyra. But to me, it feels like there's something here that's being stated of like, everyone was doing this. People are upset. And I'm not saying this is Tyra. I'm saying this is kind of like the feeling, the emotion that I'm getting here, the thought process is like, everyone was doing this back then. This America's Next Top Model was just the surface of kind of like the nitty gritty, the dirtiness, the ugliness of what was going on behind the scenes with model shows, and like when you're doing photo shoots and you climb into the top and you're doing runways. It was much worse than this. You know, maybe something along the lines of this was a different time, different attitudes, you know, different things was acceptable, different cultural aspects and nuances and stuff like that at the time. And right now, you know, I'm being called to the fire and people want to, you know, hold me responsible, but people don't understand the context of stuff that's going on. You know, the context of it is kind of like being shifted and blown out of proportion. And I think I think whoever thought this is, I do want to say, I feel like it's Tyra allegedly, but I also wonder if there is not also consideration being taken into, or, you know, this thought is not being taken into consideration. Maybe some of the producers or the people who was like having this shopped around to them. And that's why it's like, you know, like, let's table this for now. Because I could very much, with the energy that's coming up here, I feel like somebody is going to end up making this succeed. I could see it probably being on something like Zeus Network or on Tubi or something like that. But I wonder if it's a thing here where it's kind of like people are also taking into consideration, you know, the fact that look at a lot of these modeling agencies or these people who were over these modeling agency and their connection to the Blankstein files, like, you know, and then on top of this, like, harassment and bullying that you were doing as well. It's like, this is not this pressure cooker you essentially have us trying to create and bring this back in is no bueno. Okay, yes, that's all the channeling that I'm getting here. But yes, I'm getting hypocrisy, projection, similarity, blame, introspection needed. Yeah. So I think there's a thing here where there is a lot of consideration. It's a lot of like, let's see what the spin is. Let's see if maybe somebody else was to do this and we, you know, did this instead and we changed it around. I don't know why RuPaul's Drag Race is coming up. I don't know if it's something here where maybe they're gonna probably try to take why RuPaul's Drag Race has been so successful and going on the way it is. Maybe they have some of them be the creative directors or something. I don't know. Or maybe something more like social, because I feel like America's Next Top Model is kind of difficult right now too, because you have Instagram models, you know. I don't know why that's coming up. I'm gonna let that go. I mentioned it, but whatever. And then we also have Two Peas in a Pod. This is soul partnership, resonance, true love, mirror match, blessings, life mate. Yeah. Two Peas in a Pod. Is somebody trying to take this from her? It's blowing up a strong momentum, sudden change, shake up, transformation, hope. The other underlying card here is Sweet Tooth, and this is dealing, as you can see, it came up in reverse. This is dealing with hankering, temptation, intimacy, proposal, message of love. And then we also have Over Yonder, focus for anticipation, potential, eyes on the prize, choices, surprises. Yeah, to me, it feels like there's not now. I don't feel like maybe anytime this year. Or maybe they'll do something at the end of the year. I really feel like I want to say not anytime this year. I don't think America's Next Top Model is going to be something right now, because I think there's a lot of like reworking that is taking place to make the show, one, engaging, two, almost maybe cancel culture approved, because I think they realize people are kind of like burnt out on the rage baiting, and or maybe potentially finding somebody else to be a part of this to kind of maybe level out the playing field. You know, I don't work in reality TV show. I don't know how they will make this work, but I'm sure they will. People still watch Love Island and they know that's fake and duped up. So I don't know. To me, it feels like there is something that's kind of just like taking place and shaping up with this, but it's kind of like, well, what's the new angle that we're going to take here, and how can we make sure that maybe there's not another scandal that's going to pop forward because of how people production or whatever is handling the models, especially in this sensitive time, with people knowing what they know now. So yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to be the reworking here, because the energies I get, I feel like the America Next Top Model show, I feel like it's being reworked, shopped around, maybe new judges or faces being brought in, maybe changing up the concepts a little bit, because maybe even renaming it, where it's like, it's not America's Next Top Model. Maybe it's just, the Next Top Model or something like that, dropping that off of there. Maybe doing some kind of name change, since she holds, I feel like Tyra, I feel like she owns the name or something like that, the copyright. So maybe they'll change it up a little bit to, rework it for today's world and how the model industry works now with like influencers or something like that. Because I feel like there's something that's coming up. But we'll see. This is just my prediction. This is what I feel like this trying to come through was being made here, but we'll see in due time. I want to say 2 years, but we'll see in due time what in this reading I was kind of just like right on the nose about, or splitting hairs about, or was picking up on where it's kind of changed, because again, energies can change. And again, with this, I wouldn't be surprised if the energies change, because it feels like it's a lot going on behind the scenes. It's kind of just, again, being reworked. So yeah, let me know what you all think about this reading. Make sure to give this a thumbs up. Follow me if you would like to see more readings like this. Make sure to follow me for my next reading that is coming up tomorrow. We will be doing what's his name? I got it on here, y'all. I got it on here. Hold on. We will be doing a reading on Prince Andrew and the potential time he could be serving due to his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Again, I understand if you all don't want to see that reading. I'm not looking forward to that reading myself, just because I know the energy is going to be heavy, but I'm going to do it because I am interested to see some kind of repercussions being had. I know we're not doing much of it here in America, but I'm interested to see what the repercussions are going to be. Okay, so with all that being said, again, wishing you a lovely day, night, morning, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching this reading. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, selecting it to all, to see more readings like this from me. And until tomorrow, bye.